Ever since I found out Harriet Tubman is not a real person, it fucked me up. Not gonna lie. Because her real name is Araminta Ross. And she was a spy for the United States government.
I have time today. But if you don't know me first, let me introduce myself. Hi, my name is Jazzy, and I am the creator and the host of the One Piece of Trash podcast, where I have voice actors bring to life One Piece gay fan fiction that I find on AO3. And you might be wondering, what the fuck does One Piece or fan fiction have to do with this absolute fucking idiot trying to discredit Harriet Tubman's legacy and say that the woman doesn't exist because she changed her fucking name? Well, I'm about to break it down for you, and I hope I can get all my thoughts out because I'm so angry that I'm fucking shaking. I'm sickened. I'm so sickened. What is happening? The person in the video says that Harriet Tubman isn't a real person because she changed her name. They were looking for freed slaves by their names. They had to change their slave names, you stupid bitch. We have been changing our names as black people for thousands of years. And now you're using the fact that Harriet Tubman's real name isn't Harriet Tubman, which, first of all, that's her fucking real name. We don't need to know what her slave name was. Harriet Tubman is Harriet Tubman's real name because Harriet Tubman wants to be Harriet Tubman. Bob the drag queen stitched that video, so go and watch Bob's video because Bob breaks it down much nicer than I will ever be to a person like this. But in Bob the drag queen's video, they also play a clip from another person's video saying, oh my god, I'm so glad somebody's finally talking about this, because, like, how do you take slaves underground? Like, that doesn't make any sense. The Underground Railroad was not subterranean, you stupid fucking bitch. We learned that in first grade in my all-white, predominantly Caucasian-led school. In first grade, I learned that the Underground Railroad was underground because it was secret. The same way we use the word in underground music. It's not literally under the earth. It's a secret. And when you look at that video, the comments are fucking disgusting. Like, there's so many people who don't know fucking shit. Somebody said, oh, I heard a teacher once say that all the world is a stage. And the older I get, the more I see that's true. It's all just a stage. That's a quote from Shakespeare, you stupid bitch. Oh my God. It's from the play As You Like It. It is spoken by Jacques. All the world's a stage, and all the men and women merely players. They have their exits and their entrances, and one man in his time plays many parts. It is about life and death, okay? I hope that helped. I saw someone in the comments say, and Rosa Parks had a car. A boycott is not about what you fucking have. A boycott is about what you want to get. And somebody else in the comments said, Rosa wasn't even the first person to sit down. No, there was a young girl named Claudette Colvin. She was a teenage pregnant girl. She had glasses and she just wanted to sit. And I can't even believe her. Drunk History covered Claudette Colvin 10 years ago. You stupid morons. Don't you watch Comedy Central? Oh my God. They're dumbing us down. So once again, you might be asking, why the fuck am I here yelling, and what does this have to do with One Piece? Well, I will tell you, it's Ohara. It's Ohara. Erasing woke, erasing DEI. Let me tell you something. Woke was a black word. Woke was AAVE. Woke was black people's word before white people even heard of it. Black people have been using the words woke and stay woke since the 70s, and y'all.
Hello, what's up, brothers and sisters? How you doing? What's up? Now, this video will prove to you why white people pay so much attention to black history. Why are they so much obsessed with black history to the extent that they revise some things, black people who existed, and make them look like we really made fictional characters because they did great things. And the perfect example that the person that we are talking about is Harriet Tubman, right? So this is something that I feel like we need to discuss. The denial of Harriet Tubman's existence by some individuals, particularly within the white communities that harbor revisionist tendency. This really shows a real pattern of historical distortion aimed at undermining black contributions to history. Remember, RAGED Tubman was a well-documented historical figure who played a pivotal role in abolitionist movement, helping enslaved Africans escape through the Underground Railroad and serving as a Union spy during the Civil War. Her life and legacy are corroborated by primary sources, eyewitness accounts, and academic scholarships. So I don't know what people are saying that RAGED Tubman was a fictional, that this is something that we made up as black people so that we may look great. Yet, fringe claims that she did not exist or was a fabricated symbol are part of dangerous trends of erasing or delegitimizing black agency. These efforts are not rooted in historical facts, but in ideological attempts to maintain white-centric narratives of history. This video will show you why I feel like for the longest time, these people are pretending that they are not paying so much attention to what black people are doing, including studying black history. Remember, they are so much eager to also study black history because they really know the truth. They really know that you know the truth. And now they want to know what you know and come again and find a problem in the theories that we share with them. And then they come and say those are conspiracies that we're trying to say. But well, in reality, these are facts, data-driven information. We have eyewitnesses. We have people that elderly that talked about this, and this was all documented by scholars, eyewitnesses, people who lived during that period and said about this. So really, let me know what you think about this video, right? For those who are watching us for the first time, I'll most definitely ask you to subscribe to the channel, join our membership, and really get so we can offer you. So if you feel like you want to buy me a coffee, kindly check out my Cash App account. It's in my bio. For those who are supporting me through my super thanks, through my Cash App, man, I'm really, really grateful because you making this channel grow, you giving me the energy to keep going on, and let's share about all this. So let me know in the comment section what you think. Let's watch the video. I'll be back and then I'll be sharing my 2 cents in regards to this. So let's watch the video. I'll be back.
Took it from us, you changed the meaning of it, and now everyone just uses it for whatever the fuck. That's not what it meant. They're erasing our history, okay? And this isn't the first time this has happened in America. This isn't the first time this has happened in the world. The government is erasing black history right in front of our eyes, and it's working. Look at what it's doing to us. It's having us, black people, it's making us spit in our ancestors' faces. You're all watching One Piece and you're talking about we need a Luffy, we need a Luffy. You're Luffy. I'm Luffy. That's the point. That's what it's trying to tell us. It could be anybody. It could be all of us. We're not supposed to wait on one person to come and die for our sins like Jesus. We're supposed to be the ones to fight this. Fight this. Fight this with me. It's so stupid. They are taking away our history. Those who do not know their history are doomed to repeat it. Look at what is happening. You watch One Piece. Can you imagine what happened if Jinbei never told his story? What would have happened if Jinbei never told his story? What would have happened if Hancock never told her story? They were slaves and they were free. It's supposed to mean something to you. You're supposed to care about this. It's supposed to change you inside. Let it. Look at the stupid ass person talking loud and wrong and causing so much damage. You're supposed to care. Let this mean something to you. Let this radicalize you. It is not stupid for a TV show to change your heart. It's not stupid for it to mean something to you. It is not stupid to get inspired, to get out, to research, to learn more. Ohara happened in this country. It happened to my people. It happened to Black Americans. It happened across the world. You can learn about these real times. There were real slaves right here in this country. You can learn about them. You can learn about our rebellions. You can learn about Nat Turner and Dred Scott and Harriet Tubman and Sojourner Truth. You can learn about the Haitian Revolution. You can learn about all the successful rebellions. You can learn about the reason that I exist. I'm a direct descendant of slaves in America. I would not be here if it wasn't for Harriet Tubman. Don't even get me started on the fact that she says Harriet Tubman was a spy for the U.S. government. She was a spy for the Union, you stupid fucking bitch! She was spying for the fucking North. She was not spying for the government. It was two different Americas at the time, okay? She was spying during the Civil War. She was freeing slaves to cripple the South's economy and save her people from a life of not being seen as human because I was not considered a human being in America. And people like Harriet Tubman made sure that I could be more than 3/5 of a person, that I could be a full human being. Don't let the celestial dragons win. Do not let this happen to us. No, I guess that's all I have to yell about. I'm pissed off.
Did anyone else see that video of that girl who said something like, I can't believe that I never knew before that Harriet Tubman didn't exist? And then she goes on this like long tangent saying like, yeah, like she wasn't a real person. Harriet Tubman's not even her real name. She was a spy for the US government. But that's not even like the worst part of the whole thing. The worst part were the people that were in her comment section agreeing with her, saying like, oh my gosh, like I knew it. I knew that she couldn't have been like a real person. And like, I knew I just wasn't buying the whole Underground Railroad story. Like, I cannot believe that our public school system has failed some of y'all this badly to where y'all are sitting here spreading, not only spreading misinformation like this, but like, do y'all actually believe what you're saying, or are you rage baiting? Because there's just no way that I believe that y'all truly believe that Harriet Tubman wasn't a real person. And the fact that the woman who made this video is black, what? So here's a little quick PSA. Harriet Tubman was a real person. Harriet Tubman did exist. Harriet Tubman changed her name, and Harriet Tubman was a spy in the sense that she was bringing enslaved people to freedom. I don't know why on earth you're trying to sit here and like purposely spread misinformation like this, but please y'all, like, if you truly don't know something, please do the research before you get on TikTok making videos about it. Because it's not funny and it's not cute. And like, especially in the climate that we're in, like, I don't know why you would do this, but just so we're clear, Harriet Tubman did exist.
So I went down one of the more depressing rabbit holes I've seen lately, and that's the whole Harriet Tubman isn't real thing. Which is very disappointing, guys. I got to admit. Remember, just because you didn't know something that was freely available information and has been for decades, doesn't imply that there's a conspiracy theory to keep it from you or to change the story and turn her into something she wasn't. So a lot of misinformation there. I also see some well-intended misinformation going back the other direction, attempting to combat it. But she was way cooler than people know, actually. She was incredibly competent. She's one of those people that if you put her in front of any given task, not only is she going to figure that out, she's going to master it. Everyone who knew her said the same thing about her. She was incredibly competent. Even her enemies, her enslaver, knew that she was so competent that he allowed her to choose her own assignments and work largely unsupervised, paying him a yearly fee. That's how competent she was. And she spent that time getting to know liberation-minded enslaved people and freedmen. She also didn't create the Underground Railroad. The Underground Railroad itself has existed in some iteration literally since slavery was introduced to the colonies. She was just a very effective conductor. She did have a different name. It was Amarynta Ross. She changed it to Harriet Tubman when she married John Tubman. I see a lot of people saying that she changed it after she escaped to avoid capture. That isn't accurate. She actually changed it before she escaped. There are competing narratives as to why she actually changed it. The leading to her is that it was a religious conversion, as her enslaver was Jewish. The other is that she just did it as an ode to her mother and obviously taking John Tubman's last name. So that like might confuse people as to why she wasn't caught. You got to remember how famous Harriet Tubman was before the Civil War too. Like the Underground Railroad itself was famous. People didn't know the actual locations, which is why it worked, but everybody knew about the Underground Railroad. The South used it as criticism all the time towards the North, was their material support of the Underground Railroad. So it wasn't like a secret that this was going on. And once she made her way to Philadelphia, she went there because it was a hotbed of abolitionist activity, and she knew she could create allies. She even resented it after a certain point and felt very tokenized by YT allies, which she was, because the abolitionists were looking for symbols, and she was fucking incredible. So I think you can see it in this picture right here. I mean, look at her. She don't want to be there. She just knows that she had to do this kind of shit to continue getting material support for the Underground Railroad, to get more and more people out. But she had very famous allies, guys. The land that she was given in Auburn, New York, was given to her by William Seward, who would later become Secretary of State under Abraham Lincoln. That's how powerful her allies were. So it wasn't really possible to just walk into Philadelphia and nab somebody as famous as Harriet Tubman. The South absolutely reviled this woman. Lastly, I never thought that I would have to say this, but the Underground Railroad is not a collection of subterranean tunnels. It was just a collection of safe houses that people used to navigate their way towards freedom. Those safe houses were constantly changing, as were the routes. There was no railroad. It was not physically underground. I've seen some people go so far as to say that she was trafficking people through these tunnels, which is really insidious and absolutely false. She was technically a spy for the Union. I think scout is really a better descriptor, but in any case, you guys are thinking she worked for the U.S. government as it exists today, which wasn't the case. The Union was fighting the slave state, so it behooved anyone working towards emancipation to work with the Union Army, which she did. She was very strategically minded, guys. She planned the raid that got 700 people out in 1863. She helped plan Harper's Ferry before the Civil War. There's a reason John Brown referred to her as the General. Okay, and the Union did think that this might be a good way to enlist some free black slaves, which it did. That doesn't mean they were being trafficked. They willfully signed up for military service, which is completely understandable. If it were me, be like, fuck yeah, let me get that get back finally. She wasn't trafficking anyone. She never pressured any of them into doing any of it. And I understand how people can get fucked up, because there are so many figures in American history that were taught to worship or think kindly upon, and just are complete pieces of shit. So I get it. Harriet Tubman is not one of those people. She's actually underappreciated for what a fucking badass she really was. Okay, so just read a couple books, for the love of God, y'all. It's killing me.
So now we're saying that Harriet Tubman isn't real. Now we're saying that Harriet Tubman isn't real. That she was a spy. I just want to say, I had the pleasure of visiting where Harriet Tubman was born, where Harriet Tubman's family was from, and it's in Maryland. I'm from the DMV, so I live in the DMV, and it's in Maryland, and I've had the pleasure of going to visit. Yeah, it's a real place. Yeah. Y'all always gonna have an excuse or some kind of something that you want to bring out and put out and do this and do that to say that you just haven't read. You haven't read a book, you haven't watched a documentary, you haven't Googled anything, and you just want to be misinformed because you think that being misinformed is edgy, it's cool, and that's this like free thinking thing. Which I really think that free thinking needs to be demolished, the word. Because a lot of you seem to think that you are free thinkers when you're not. You're not. You're just uneducated and uninformed. There are a population of black people on this app who want to say that slaves are not real. You want to say that slaves don't exist. And I don't think the person saying that Harriet Tubman wasn't a real person believes the same way that the people who think that slaves are not real and that we are actually black people, black Americans, are the actual real indigenous people or the real Native Americans of this land. I don't think that they're equated the same, because I don't think she's gotten to that train of thought yet. She hasn't met those type of people yet, but she's probably on that train. And they're probably going to start showing up in her comment section, and they're going to tell her, yeah, sis, you're right. Harriet Tubman wasn't real. She was a spy. Because guess what? There were no slaves. Because why? We are the Native Americans. We are the indigenous people of these lands. The Native Americans that are here now aren't real. As somebody who is black and indigenous, who has indigenous ancestry, but also has family ancestors that were enslaved, yes. This whole rhetoric always bothers me, like, deeply in my soul, because it erases, like, a lot of parts of me, and I don't like that. I don't like that. Just say you're ashamed to come from slavery, because that's what you're trying to get at this point. You're trying to say that you're ashamed to come from slaves, and it's really sad, because your enslaved ancestors would be just furious to hear that you are not appreciative of the things that they did to afford us the rights to live the way we are today. Like, it's really, really bothering me. And I'm sick and tired of it. I'm not ashamed to come from slaves. I don't care what anybody says. I'm not ashamed to come from enslaved people. I'm not. Because they were strong, beautiful people who fought so I could be here today, living the life I'm living. Just, like, read a book, okay? And I get it. If you don't want to read a book, that's cool. I have dyslexia, so I kind of get it. But you could even watch a documentary. Like, there are lots of documentaries, okay? There are audiobooks, okay? Audiobooks are a thing. I definitely partake in the audiobooks, okay? And Google exists. So, YouTube is free. I don't get it. I don't get it, but I'm gonna need, because it was like after that whole Emmett Till thing, now we have Harriet Tubman is not real, she was a spy and all these things. It's like, I know you want to seem edgy. I know you want to seem cool. I know this whole free thinking thing is in, but baby, if you don't open a book, watch a documentary, Google something, we are headed for a very dangerous path, and it's like really, really sad. It's really sad. Harriet Tubman is a spy. Like, where did you find these things, and where are you finding these things? And was I taught wrong? I don't get it. I don't get it.
So I have seen the video of the girl talking about how Harriet Tubman is not real, right? She made that video May 24th, which is at least a week, almost 2 weeks ago, right? I just went to her page and she posted an apology 2 hours ago, okay? Now, while I don't know if I would say it was heartfelt, I would say, all things considered, it is a pretty damn good apology. However, the problem with this whole thing is that the people that saw the original video, because I saw the original video and went in the comment, and there were people agreeing with her, and people who didn't even think that Harriet Tubman wasn't a real person was like, oh my god, I had no idea, this, that, the third. Those people in your comments agreeing with you are not going to see the apology video, because the apology video is not going to make as much rounds as the original video. So the problem here is that you spread misinformation, and in your apology you're like, oh, I should have done my due diligence. Why the fuck didn't you? At your big grown age, all it takes is a simple Google search. It makes sense why she did not go by the same name as when she was enslaved, because they were literally looking for her. And so what pissed me off is, especially with this app where there are a lot of young people, teenagers, tweenagers, just coming out of high school type shit, they're looking at you, and of course, anyone that speaks with enough diction, they're like, oh, okay, yeah, I'm gonna believe it. Because you go in them comments, it's like, oh my God, no, I had no idea. Oh, for real? Yeah, they didn't want us to know about this. And a man was in there talking about, oh yeah, I remember I had a teacher once tell me that the world's a stage, and you know, something about the world's a stage. It was fucking Shakespeare that said the shit. Shakespeare said the world is the stage. This is the shit I'm talking about. Y'all refuse to read. Y'all refuse to do your Googles. You could even ask, I'm sure, ChatGPT, because I know that is y'all's best friends and boyfriends and partners and therapists. Y'all could ask ChatGPT if she was a real person, and ChatGPT will give you the fucking answer. This is the shit that pissed me off, because the wrong information will stretch further than the correct information, than the clarification. You made that first video with your whole chest out saying, ever since I found out that nah. I've seen it on Threads. I've seen it on Twitter. I know it's doing numbers on Facebook. I know it is doing the whole tabs and whatever are running through with it. But now you posting an apology. How many people are gonna see that apology? Not enough. So shame on you for not doing your due diligence and researching the shit and spreading misinformation. This is exactly what the fuck we're talking about. Social media makes it so easy to spread misinformation. Y'all will talk about a video, y'all will talk about a situation when a quick Google will give you the fucking answer. The same phone you are looking at me on, you can literally switch and go to Google, go to Safari, go to wherever the fuck else, ask the question. You ain't even gotta go to a library. You ain't gotta go to a library. Those of us like millennials, or I'll probably say like Gen X, when y'all were in school, y'all had to go to libraries. Y'all had to go look at articles. Literally, everything I need is in this phone for the most part. Like the bare minimum research is on the same phone I am swiping through TikTok on. So I don't accept her apology. I know people are gonna accept it. I know people are gonna come in here, oh my God, like let it go, whatever. This is the shit that we're talking about, especially now when the Department of Education is the state that it is and might not even be here. And the fact that children are not knowing how to read, their hands are hurting. 4-year-olds are hurting, their hands are hurting from writing because they have never picked up a pencil until they go to fucking school. Like, this is the shit that pisses me off. All of y'all misinformation bitches, and bitches is unisex. Y'all piss me the fuck off. Y'all gonna come in these comments and give me all types of like big things. Okay, what's your source? You gonna send me a fucking YouTube video. A fucking YouTube video that probably got hundreds of views. Maybe at the most tens of thousands of views. Meanwhile, there are documents. There is a whole museum. Oh my God. Oh my God. This shit pissed me off.
To say that Harriet Tubman is not a real person and that they were trafficking people on the Underground Railroad is quite literally insane. It's even crazier to say it as if everything that you just said couldn't be debunked in a quick Google search. Not even necessarily clicking on a link. A Google AI bot will literally tell you that that's not right. There is a certain level of low racial self-esteem that's going on right now between my fellow Negroids, and I don't like it. Just last week, gingers were black. Then y'all said black people and Chinese people are the same. Then y'all said Emmett Till. Who is Emmett Till? Oh my God. And I feel like people are always trying to look for flaws or issues in black history or whatever the case may be when it comes to black people to try to debunk whatever we have going on to justify their anti-blackness or their low racial self-esteem. And then she's like, oh, that's why they be wanting us to believe just because someone looks like me that is woo woo woo. Girl, what are you talking about? No, you're trying to convince yourself of something, and it's very evident. Like, what are y'all really talking about here? I honestly feel like y'all are playing right into the game that they want y'all to play into. I'm not talking about the CIA. I think some of y'all are generally dumb as hell. Okay? There is anti-intellectualism that is on the rise right now, and a lot of y'all are playing into it. I am literally urging y'all to stop just getting all your information from TikTok and these social media sites and not doing any background information. I know a lot of y'all haven't read a book since the Junie B. Jones era, but y'all need to pick up a book. You need to look at some peer-reviewed information. Hell, you can go on Google Scholar and look up the stuff that y'all be talking about instead of just going off of what you see on the internet. But I also know a lot of y'all just want content and not actual progression. You actually don't care about anything that's going on in Black history. You don't care about anything that's going on in the world right now. You just want to make content, get your rage bait out there, and then get all your followers from it. All in all, I know I was kind of all over the place in this video, y'all, but to such ignorantly deny that Harriet Tubman existed is to literally deny such a huge part of our history of before her, and more specifically after her. Y'all have got to be more careful with the content that you want to create and the message that you want to get out into the world, because a lot of y'all are feeding into a very ignorant, harmful, and damaging rhetoric.
So apparently we reached the part of digital delusion where people are out here saying that Harriet Tubman wasn't real. And honestly, I should have known we were headed here, right? Because the moment you start telling the real truth about Black resistance, somebody always tries to rewrite the ending, but this time they picked the wrong one, all right? Let me make this real simple. Harriet Tubman was a real person. I think the problem is that a lot of them just can't fathom the idea that a disabled Black woman who couldn't read, lived with seizures, and was born into bondage still outsmarted the system multiple times over. So instead of sitting with that, y'all default to, oh, well, she must be a myth. Because God forbid someone exists outside the mold that you've been spoon-fed. So let's run this back. She was born Araminta Ross in Maryland. Yeah, she was enslaved. She took a blow to the skull from her overseer that nearly killed her. And when she escaped in her 20s, she could have stayed gone. But she didn't. She went back again and again and walked more than 70 people to freedom. And no, she didn't float on vibes. She knew the signs, the land, the networks. She carried a gun. She told people, you'll be free or you'll be dead. Pick one. But wait, there's more. She worked with John Brown. She served as a Union spy and led the Coombe River Raid in 1863, freeing over 700 people in a single night. But sure, she's a myth. Because clearly a Black woman doing the impossible must mean it didn't happen, right? Y'all will believe in talking snakes, cherry trees, and founding fathers who somehow love liberty while owning people. But you draw the line at Harriet Tubman. Make it make sense. So here's the real issue. Harriet didn't just escape. She turned around and made herself the nightmare of the slave-holding South. She was strategic, ruthless, and brilliant. But apparently y'all aren't ready for that version. So no, I'm not going to debate her existence. But what I will do is say this. If Harriet Tubman feels too real to be real, that says more about your imagination than it ever will about her. She lived, she freed, she wrecked the entire system with her own bare hands. And that's what you're trying to erase.
I made a video 2 weeks ago that is going viral because I had said that I found out Harriet Tubman was not a real person. So I want to first say that as a grown woman, it's my responsibility to call myself out on the very same platform that I ran my mouth. And y'all's feelings are valid, your frustration, your anger, because honestly, as a Black American, I should have been more responsible with what the fuck I said, because I understand that when you are a Black freedom fighter, it takes everything that you've got to even have the courage to stand the fuck. And as someone who too revolts against the same system that has enslaved Black Americans, I deeply and honestly, really, truly, from the bottom of my heart, did not mean to disrespect any sort of Black leaders of any kind. And I sincerely mean it. What I wanted to say is the version from textbooks that we were given in our classrooms and the same government that once enslaved Black Americans, I have a right to question the education that they teach us. And I'm very weary and I'm very sensitive about what information I am learning. And my anger was inappropriately misdirected to the wrong person. My anger and frustrations were not on Harriet Tubman, and it should have been, or what I wanted to say is my frustration is towards the people who hold the pen and who leaves out truths, and it frustrates me. And honestly, like I said, I should have been more careful with my words, and I also should have been more clear and gone deeper with what I meant instead of just dropping it at. I had to come on here and say something and make it right, because I would feel really bad about leaving people off and not at least apologizing for what I said and the confusion that it had made. Okay. So to everyone who saw me run my mouth in the first clip, I really do apologize for my behavior, the way that I came across, okay? And this is something that I'm learning right now, is that, are you really thinking about what you're saying? And in the past, I had not. I just said shit without really thinking about it, and that's immature of me. I'm learning as I go. Take time to think about what you're saying. So I do want to apologize again for any confusion and disrespect that. So thank you for hearing me out, y'all.
If you think Harriet Tubman is not a real person, you are a fucking idiot. And I hate you. I hate you so much. I hate you more than you will ever know. Harriet Tubman not real now? Okay. All right, Harriet Tubman not real. Fake. They just made up the Underground Railroad. All that shit is fake. Nat Turner not real either. Django not real. None of this. Slavery did not happen. Slavery didn't happen. Slavery didn't happen. Holocaust didn't happen. Everything is a fucking lie. Don't believe nothing the government tells you. The government's giving you people idols. Don't idolize humans. Don't believe nothing the government tells you. None of this shit is real. No Underground Railroad, no slavery, no Holocaust, no translated slave trade, no Irish famine, no 9/11, no the COVID pandemic. That shit, that's mass hysteria. None of this shit is real. None of this shit is real. Now I'll start with Harriet Tubman. Rosa Parks is not real either, motherfucker.
Hello guys, welcome back to the channel. I'm hoping that you are doing super great. I don't know which state you are in, but let me know. Greetings from which state? Where are you watching me from? Because these are important historic times that we are learning, and we need to teach people. We need to learn and see the reality of things, or how things happen, because really this history, black history, is important history. Now, the center of our talk today is historical revisionism. While you might think that white folks, at least some white scholars, that don't care about what black people do, while in reality, they care so much about what you do, what you eat, who you are, where you came from. Because all they're seeing something unique in you that you are not seeing. So, white historical revisionism often emerges from discomfort with confronting the realities of racism, slavery, and the oppressive systems that built Western power structures. Black history, particularly stories of resistance and resilience like that of Harriet Tubman, disrupts the sanitized, heroic version of history that centers European settlers. The founding fathers, the colonial empires, acknowledging Tubman's heroism demands a reckoning with the brutality of slavery and the complicity of white institutions. For some, erasing or questioning our existence is a way to avoid accountability and preserving mythologized version of the past that elevates whiteness while minimizing or ignoring black suffering and achievement. This is something that has been going on. You change the history, make it serve you well as compared to other people. This is what happens, right? Also, I'm going to be talking about, the attention paid to black history by white revisionists is not driven by genuine curiosity or scholarly interest, but the desire to control the narrative. Get this right. If black people are depicted only as victims or passive participants in history, it becomes easier to justify continued structural inequality. But hold on. Figures like Tubman, Frederick Douglass, and countless others that challenged that framework by demonstrating that black people were not only survivors of oppression, but leaders, strategists, and revolutionaries, right? Their stories are empowering for the black community and unsettling for those who benefit from historical amnesia. Denial, therefore, becomes a tool of cultural dominance, an attempt to mute the voices that threatens the status quo. It is called the white denial. They will deny. They will try to change. They'll try to make this look like it's. Make it look like it's their history, while in the reality, this is not the truth. This is something that really happened, and it happened. These historical accounts that as recorded and showed that this is something that happened. So when they come out there and say that this is nothing, like it never happened, black people just making this shit up. They're making it look like it's only theirs, right? But in reality, this is something that happened. This is an historical account that existed. I'm also going to be talking about Black history is also a threat because it reveals the foundational role Black labor, intellect, and culture played in shaping modern civilization, particularly in the United States. From building the economic infrastructure of America through forced labor to shaping its music, language, and political consciousness, Black people have left an indelible mark. The reality clashes with the white supremacist narratives that rely on portraying Black people as inferior or peripheral, right? Rather than celebrating the interconnected history, some factions work tirelessly to obscure it. It creates a false narrative or minimize Black figures' impact. It creates a false narrative or minimize Black figures' impact. The denial of Harriet Tubman's historicity is merely one symptom of broader strategy that white people use, and it's called the white denial, or what is called historical revisionism. They change, they deny. That's how they do it. I'm also going to be talking about this obsession with revising or attacking Black history stems from a deep-seated insecurity within the white identity politics. In societies where white dominance has been the norm, the growing demand for inclusivity, equity, and truth-telling can feel threatening to those unprepared to confront the full implications of historical injustice. As schools, films, public disclosure increasingly highlight Black excellence and suffering. Now, reactionary elements respond with skepticism, denial, and hostility. They fear that acknowledging the truth might lead to redistributive justice as a reevaluation of national myths, which will shift societal power dynamics. Also, the intense scrutiny and denial of Black history also reveals the paradox at the heart of white supremacy. While it seeks to ignore the erasure of Blackness, it's simultaneously obsessed with controlling and defining it. Whether through misrepresentation in the media, selective curriculum in schools, or historical denialism, there is a persistent effort to dictate how Black stories are told. This obsession is rooted in both fear and fascination. Fear of losing cultural hegemony and fascination with resilience, creativity, and moral clarity often found in Black resistance movement. Harriet Tubman's legacy acts as both a symbol and a real person, directly challenges the narratives of white innocence and benevolence that underlie much of American history. Now, in conclusion, the denial of Harriet Tubman's existence is not merely an attack on one figure, but part of the broader campaign to diminish Black contribution to the global and national history. This really reflects a desperate attempt by some to preserve myths of white superiority and to maintain control over historical narrative. For Black communities and allies, the response must be unwavering to continue teaching, preserving, and amplifying the truth. Right? Harriet Tubman lived, fought, led. Her legacy is irrefutable, and any effort to erase her history is not only historically baseless, but morally bankrupt. Defending Black history is not just about the past, it is a critical act of resistance that shapes the future. I'm your host and presenter, Debunking Stories. If you managed to watch me through this end, kudos to you. For those watching me for the first time, kindly subscribe to the channel. I'm on my campaign to 150,000 subscribers. So I'm asking you, if you're watching my video for the first time, I'll most definitely ask you to subscribe to the channel so that we can all get to learn and move together, right? You benefit, I benefit. We all learn from these videos, and I just share my thought. Share your thought in the comment section. Let me know what you think about this. For those who are supporting me, kindly God bless you and continue supporting the channel. Let's continue, and then I'll be seeing you in my next video. Bye bye. Peace, love, and harmony. Salute.